Self-care is the practice of taking an active role in protecting one's own well-being and happiness, in particular during periods of stress. During these winter months, I find I don't do the best job of protecting my well-being. Long days and cold weather distract me from my usual habits that help boost my mood. But I've learned that self-care doesn't have to mean long baths with fancy products or buying expensive coffee, even though I too do love those things. Self-care can be simple, like going for a walk. It can be practical, like getting better sleep. And it can even be counterintuitive, like focusing less on ourselves. These are 15 simple ways that I like to take better care of myself. I didn't want this video to share just kind of like surface level things of how to take care of yourself better, but things that actually I think in the long term can improve your life. I think over the past 2 years, I have just been switching up a lot of my habits and switching up how I used to do things. And I have found a lot of rhythms in my life for actually learning how to actually take care of myself more than like a surface level way. I do just want to say thank you to Ashley Eaton for inspiring this video. I love her videos. I'm sure you guys know about her, but she does a lot of minimalism, slow living, intentional living content, and she always inspires me. She recently did a video like this and it just inspired me to share some ways that I try to take care of myself better. While I know that a lot of people suffer from diagnosed seasonal depression, I think it's easy to also just feel seasonal blues, kind of a general sense of feeling down because of the weather. And I mean, even in Texas, it doesn't get that cold here, but I still feel it here between January to March. And so these are things that kind of uplift my spirits, help take care of myself better, and I think can help you too. The first one is just not forcing an early wake up time upon yourself. So there have been periods in my life where I had to wake up at 6 a.m. or 5:30 or 6:30. And I think if that works for you, that's great. If that is your kind of routine, I think that a lot of times we think that we should wake up early. And so we force ourselves to wake up early. And a lot of times that's not what our body needs. I've been reading a lot about hormone levels, especially as it relates to women's health and how our bodies function. And I think that everyone is so different. And this is kind of the theme of this whole video, but I don't think you should ever just put yourself in a box. And so for me, waking up at 7 is kind of that perfect time. But if I need more sleep, I allow myself to sleep in. It's a snow day today and it's beautiful. And we don't have a ton of those in Texas. So I just spent some time sleeping in this morning and it was really great. And I think it can really recharge your soul when you actually allow yourself to get that extra sleep that you need. Finding the fitness routine that works for you. I'm sure that you guys have heard me talk about this a lot because I am very avid about this. Again, don't put yourself in a box. I think a lot of times we think that we should run 3 miles or that we should do a spin class or whatever you think that you should do, but everyone is so different. I know that a lot of people love Pilates. They love, kind of those slower movements that are actually really difficult when you're repeating them over and over again. For me, I actually really love high intensity workouts. I find that they're just really good for me, especially because working out is totally a mental health thing for me. And so when I am in an F45 class, which is a circuit training class, and just going at it, it's fast paced, it's 45 minutes, that just feels really good for me. But there are times when I can listen to my body and I know that I just need a walk today. I just need to do something a little bit more mellow. And so I will listen and do that. But with fitness, I think it is really important to incorporate some sort of movement into your routine, but I don't think it should be something where you're putting yourself in a box. Spending time with friends that actually fill you up. I think a lot of times, and maybe less so in your 20s, but you think that you need to have just this large friend group around you, but having quality friendships over quantity is so important. And I think especially in your 20s, you really have to prioritize those friendships because you have jobs and you have responsibilities that maybe you didn't have. I actually just did a vlog sharing a little girls trip that I did with a few of my friends, and it was so much fun because I think especially during 2020, a lot of us learned the effects of being isolated and how we're so meant to be in community and to be with other people. And it can be hard to find those solid friends, but you only need a couple. You only need one. You don't need a huge quantity of friendships. Resisting the urge to overbook your schedule. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but even on the days where I find myself having a little smidge of free time, I have this desire to always fill it, even if that's putting in a load of laundry, even if that's cleaning our apartment, even if it's running an errand. But I have been practicing lately just allowing myself to sit. I actually find that I'm a lot more productive in that way because the next day I'll have everything lined up. I just have this thing in my mind where I think if I don't do this right now, it's not going to get done. But you really have to rewire your mind and know that that's actually not the case. And it's okay to slow down. It's okay to take your time. Learning to be comfortable in silence. I truly am someone who actually has always been pretty comfortable in silence. I don't really mind not having to always be distracted by something or not always having to fill silence when I'm with someone. I'm a big fan of silent friendship time. I think those are the best friendships where you can have that. More specifically, over the past year, I've noticed how much I have to listen to a podcast when I'm doing something or watch a YouTube video, which is great. I'm sure there are people who are watching this video right now while they're also getting something done. But I found that I was doing that all throughout the day, especially when working from home. And it's so good to learn to just be with your thoughts. And I find that I'm a lot more creative. It's really important for me to be alone with my thoughts, so I'm not always looking at what everyone else is doing and, again, putting myself into a box that I have to be that way too, because it's just not the case. Curating your space for what brings you joy and not what's trendy. I know that it's so easy to go on Pinterest and see what's really popular, to go on TikTok and see what's popular, but I have found with our apartment this year, I'm so happy that while not everything in this space is necessarily in or trendy, it brings me so much joy. I love every part of it. I love lots of color. I love mixing woods. I like having just really warm, cozy pieces in our home. If you love color, throw color into your apartment. You don't always have to do things just because they look aesthetic on Pinterest or something. And I think, again, as a content creator, I've been trying to learn this, that I don't always have to just do things because they look good or because they're going to be trendy or whatever, but it's okay to have your own style and just be in a space that actually does bring you a lot of joy. Simplifying your wardrobe. This is a really easy way because I know a lot of times in the morning when you're so busy and you have to get to work and you have so many options for clothes, it can be really stressful. And this is something that I've gone back and forth with because I know that picking out outfits and fashion can bring us a lot of joy, and especially for certain people, they really like that. But I've kind of gone back and forth where I like dressing simpler, but then I also do like having options. And so you just got to switch it up and know what works for you. But I know for me personally that it's always helped to actually have a little bit more simplicity in my wardrobe and not always feel the need to have all these options, because that can often stress me out and not care for myself in the best way. Having a digital declutter, I think that this is so important. I forgot to do this in my last decluttering video, but actually taking the time to clean out your desktop, get rid of all those old files. I think we spend so much time, especially now, on our laptops, just looking at screens. And I think that just going through those spaces that you use frequently, whether it's for work or even just for entertainment, and making sure it's a place that's simple that you can come to and it's not going to stress you out, because there's already so much on social media to stress us out. And so it's important to actually go on and organize everything. I try to do this kind of at the start of each week, usually on Monday. If my desktop is really just messy, I'll go through, move things around, make it look prettier. Have something to nurture. This one is probably pretty specific to me, but I love taking care of things. I love just having some sort of responsibility in my life in terms of taking care of an animal, our plants. I love figuring out ways to like be a better wife. Those things just bring me a lot of happiness and joy. And I think especially with having a dog over the past year, it's kind of counterintuitive, because when you think about caring for yourself, you don't think about actually doing stuff for other people. But I have found that when I take my mind off of myself and my own thoughts, I'm so much happier. I'm so much happier when I am even just like walking the dog. I pray one day we're able to have children, because I imagine as a mother, that's just a next level sort of joy that brings you. But yeah, even if it's just something like taking care of a plant, taking care of your house, keeping things in order, I have found it's brought me a lot of joy. Having something to look forward to. This is something that we did with our girls trip that I just vlogged, but this is typically a time of the year where I don't have a lot going on. It's not that fun for me. And so I knew we wanted to have something to look forward to. And so it doesn't have to be a trip. It can even just be looking forward to a date night, looking forward to visiting a park that you don't normally go to. Just having something that is set on your calendar, it makes getting through kind of those mundane moments a lot easier. And I think especially during the winter time, it can lift your spirits a bit more, help care for yourself better, because you have something to look forward to and to get your mind off of maybe the negative things that you're feeling right now. Being present with your significant other. I know this doesn't apply to everyone, but if you live with your significant other, I know as a wife, it's really easy for me to get very distracted and to just kind of get caught up in the day-to-day and to get stressed out about certain work things and just tasks that have to be done, and feeling quite quite overwhelmed, that sometimes I'll find I'll go throughout the whole day without actually asking Aiden how he's doing, asking how he's been feeling, asking how his work day went. I think especially within marriage, I've learned how important it is to put in effort. And I think over the years, we're gonna be married for 2 years in August, which is so exciting, but it does take, work. It's fun and it's great day to day, but you do have to put in the effort to actually be there for the other person. I think sometimes it's easy to get distracted. Pouring that energy into that relationship can often make you happier than just keeping your mind on your own self. And this is a fun one, but romanticize your showers. I've been doing this a lot lately in the wintertime, but I have one of those salt lamp plugins and I'll plug that in. Sometimes I'll add a candle if I'm feeling fancy. I'll get the shower really hot and just have a nice shower. This is also the place that I like to pray. I like to worship in the shower. I like to play music on our speaker and just really enjoy it. And I don't know, there's something spiritual about just like a really good shower, just getting all clean. And I think you can do that really simply without needing all these fancy things too. Embracing simplicity. You guys already know that I'm a big fan of this, but resisting the urge to always fill voids that you have with yourself with things is really good. And I've just learned over the past, I would say 3 years or so, that when you buy something to fill a void, it really only satisfies that craving for maybe a day for me. And so I like nice things. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you guys see I buy things here on my channel, but it is really sweet when you delay gratification. And I think it's the most caring thing you can do for yourself because it teaches you contentment. And when you're content with yourself in your life, you don't always feel the need to jump into the next thrill. Keeping your space tidy. Again, you guys know this one, but when my space is not tidy, and right now it actually isn't, it looks pretty clean behind me, but there are buckets of clothes that need to be washed and we just really need to do a lot of laundry tonight. I find that my headspace is just all over the place. I can't focus on the things that actually have to get done. I just feel it. I feel cluttered in my mind. And so something that I try to do, and I would say I actually do this most days. I typically do this in the morning and Aiden usually does it at night, but having just a 10-minute quick tidy, so tidying up the couch, tidying up the kitchen, wiping everything down. It's nice to wake up to a clean space, but also go to bed with a clean space. And I guess technically if you do this at night, you shouldn't have to do it in the morning, but somehow there's still some things that have to get done. But it's just nice having a clean space. And I think putting this into your routine and doing it regularly can do a lot to care more for yourself. And the last one is one that I have been working on a lot over the past few months, is just to practice dreaming. I'm a really practical person, and I think it really limits us when, yes, it's good to, enjoy simple things, to be content with where you're at, but it's also good to realize that you have the potential to do things that maybe you don't think that you can do. And for me, when it comes to caring for myself, caring for my soul, I want to be using the talents that God has given me to the best of my ability. And honestly, I think I have a lot of room to grow in this area. There are a lot of dreams that we have together that we would love to do. And I just want to focus on those more. I want to work towards those. I think I can get so caught up in the day-to-day stuff that I forget that it's good to dream and to be bold in your life. And that's something that I've been working on a lot because I want to use my talents. And I think that you can care for yourself in the best way by meeting that potential. Those are all the small, but kind of big in some areas, ways that I try to take better care of myself. Let me know down below if you have something. What is something that you like to do every single day to maybe improve yourself, improve your life? I'd love to hear down below, and feel free to stick around if you liked this video. I post every Tuesday and Saturday. I also have a podcast that's very similar to this style of video. So if you like this, you can check that out. It's down below. And yeah, you guys mean so much to me. I'm so thankful for you guys. I say this in every video, but I'm so thankful to get to do this as a job. And I hope you guys are well, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.